Hello, we're back with another episode of I'm calling it the chill survival story time. So yeah, we got some more Reddit stories and stuff today. I actually just improvise and cut in between each story and spend 10 minutes looking for another one. So it's yeah, that's my terrible system so far. I do plan to hopefully improve throughout it, but at the moment that is the system that I'm doing. I also have ramen here to eat in between each story because it's ramen. What more could you ask for? I've also got the Harry Potter chopsticks because why not? So yeah, fair warning. While watching this video, odds are you're gonna hear the ass word. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna go all crazy and be like, "Oh my gosh, Ash said the ass word." Like, chill out. It's just a word. There are some words I refuse to say, and typically not any swear words really, but it's Reddit stories. There's going to be some swear words. I do usually skim through them first, just in case there's any really bad swear words. That way I can avoid the story and stuff. So yeah. So first we have an "Am I the asshole?" story. So yeah. It says, "Am I the asshole for pretending to be an exchange student? I, 19 female, started college this year and have pretty bad social anxiety. The first week, I tried talking to people normally, but it was awkward. I kept overthinking everything, and I could tell I was. Yeah, uh. I, I'm just not gonna read that word. I. I think that they messed up while typing that sentence, and that's the problem. I'm just gonna go past that. That's one of the few words that I won't say that isn't a swear word. In one of my classes, when someone asked where I was from, I panicked and said I was an exchange student from Sweden. I don't know why Sweden, it just came out. The thing is, it worked. People immediately became nicer, more patient, and didn't expect me to talk much. If I was quiet, it was just, "Oh, she's still learning English." If I said slightly off, or if I said something slightly off, it was cute instead of awkward. So I just kept going for 2 months. I started lightly committing to the bit. Nothing crazy, just saying things like, "Oh, in my country we do it differently," and occasionally pretending I didn't know certain slang. I even downloaded Duolingo Swedish just in case someone tested me. Here's where it goes downhill. One girl in my class got really excited when she said she has family from Sweden and started speaking to me in Swedish. I panicked and pretended. Sorry, I have bad throat. I panicked and pretended I grew up speaking mostly English at home, which she side-eyed but accepted. Then last week, my professor announced we'd be getting a real exchange student joining the class from Sweden. Oh gosh. That's. Oh gosh, that is the worst possible scenario. You pretend to be an exchange student and you just choose Sweden because, what are the odds of Swedish exchange students actually going to come in and no? No. And then, this girl comes in, sits near me, and within 10 minutes asks me something in Swedish in front of everyone. I froze, fully blinked. Sorry, my throat is really bad. I probably should have filled my cup up with water. I'll do that before the next story. Then I said, "Oh, I'm actually from a small part near Norway, so my Swedish is different." She just stared at me and goes, "That's not how that works." Now people are starting to catch on, asking me more questions. And I can feel this whole thing collapsing. I haven't admitted anything yet, but I know it's coming. Part of me feels like I didn't actually hurt anyone and just made my life easier. But another part of me knows this is objectively insane behavior. Well, I mean, it's not the nicest thing to do to just say that, just to make it easier, but I can see what is happening. I mean, like, I would honestly, if I move again, I'm probably honestly gonna try that myself. Like, as like a social experiment, say that I'm like an exchange student from somewhere. I'd have to learn the language or something, which would be difficult, but I would totally do that. Just as a prank or a social experiment. I wouldn't say you're an asshole. It's not the nicest thing, but maybe explain to these people what was going on. I'm sure that at least someone will understand. If not, then that's yeah. Alright, that first story was actually quite short, and I had to have to get like, I don't know, 6 separate stories of about that length to fill up this video, so I'm just gonna like start doing longer stories now, or at least try to. Um, here we go with the next one. I can't trust anybody anymore. Relatable. Alright. Back in 2021, one of my best friends decided to introduce me to one of his friends. Let's call him Paul. I can't seem to remember much from this time. It might be because I believe that nothing really major happened until maybe 2024, at least with Paul. Yes. In 2024, I met this guy who got along with me quite well. Let's call him Jack. By this point, me, my best friend, and Paul were already in this small friend group. Paul and Jack quickly got along great. Me and my best friend got along with a couple of Jack's friends. Let's call them Lyle, Tom, and Ron. Everything went seemingly well for about a year. It's now 2025. Me, Paul, and Jack just finished a movie in theaters. Paul wants me and Jack to come over to his house. We go over to his house, and we start the night off by talking, eating, and watching shows. After a while, Jack asks what was the worst thing that we've ever done. Up first was Paul. He said that he had a couple of things to get off my chest. He first came out to us, which we didn't mind, but we didn't understand how that would be the worst thing he'd done. He then said that he came out to give us context for the next thing he was about to say. Oh gosh, where is this gonna go? This is the like one story where I didn't skim it beforehand, like at all, and I have no idea what he's about to say, and I'm scared now. He would then reveal to us that he had horrible thoughts about Tom. Oh, thoughts that I don't want to put into this post. Oh, oh. He said that when they were dating, when Jack asked Tom in a text, he denied it and said that he was shocked that Paul would ever have these thoughts of him. We trusted Tom, and for good reason, because Paul would then say in a text that what he said was a lie. This was the first time he has lied before. Or this isn't the first time he has lied before. Oh gosh. Oh no. Back in late 2024, Paul said to us that he had a girlfriend. He led us on for 4 months that they were going on dates and wouldn't be able to hang out much. Tom and Jack would later figure out, with a reverse image search of one of the pictures, that Paul's girlfriend was fake. Paul covered this up as an April Fool's joke. After that sleepover, me, Tom, and Jack all met up at a local restaurant to talk about Paul. We talked about him for hours until Jack got a text from Paul saying something along the lines of, I'm sorry, but I've been lying to you about a ton of things, even something as small as what I ate today or yesterday. Why would you have to include that? Whatever, I guess it's just an example. After this, Paul would start acting uncharacter. I know. Crap, I went a paragraph forwards. With later texts, he revealed to what he thought was just Jack that he was lying to us for about 2 years. He said that he would promise to stop, and we believed him. After this, Paul would start acting uncharacteristically mean to all of us, like he knew Jack showed us all of the texts. When we confronted him about how he's been treating us, he said that he would stop, just like last time. Once a month rolled around, these exact things happened. And then another month rolled around, same exact thing. And then another, and another, and another. It went on until a couple of months ago that, when we had all collectively decided that we were going to cut all contact from him, I wasn't there to watch because I didn't want to. Because I'd known him for about 5 years at this point. Tom, Jack, Lyle, and Ron all respected my choice, and they all had a conversation with him and cut him off. As soon as the conversation ended, I got a text from Paul saying that everybody left him, and that I was the only person he had left, trying to tell me a sob story. I didn't say anything to him. I just blocked him and went on with my day. Shortly after we all cut contact, we started seeing Paul in public all alone. He would glare at us as if he saw, or if he saw one of us. He still does this 2 months later. It's getting to a point where we all feel really uncomfortable when we know we are near him, because we know he's just staring at us. It's been hard to trust anybody except for close family and the friends who cut contact with Paul. I look back at the things that Paul told me, and I don't know if some of them are truth or some of them are lies. Okay, that's. I mean. This Paul dude, my gosh. Imagine you find this dude, you're like best friend with him for years, and then he goes, and you're having a sleepover, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, you know our friend Tom? I've been having these really dark, creepy thoughts about him, like not just the normal thoughts that you have about someone you like, but really dark. That's. I don't think anyone would take that well. And then, like, the obvious line and stuff, too. Wow. Um, the glaring at you in public, that gives me super villain vibes. I mean, he's already having the dark thoughts, and then he's on his own, or probably his own words, he would probably say, I've been betrayed by all of my friends, and then he's just giving you that stare in public, like, you might want to pack it up and move. I mean, I'm not actually saying do that, but that's probably one of the things I would do. I would probably like pack it up and move, because I mean, this is how a lot of stuff like serial killers can start out and stuff. And I'm not saying that this guy's gonna become a serial killer and stuff. I'm just saying those are the signs that are there in a good percentage of them. And the glaring in public already says a lot about how he feels about you now. So I mean, yeah. All right, next story. All right, this one's a bit of a creepier story. I'm gonna be honest, it took me like an hour to find a new one. I finished my ramen. I now my two step cousins. I don't know. It's my stepdad's nephews. they're here, and they are like total anarchists. All right, they are those loud like neighbor kids that like you don't want to be mean, but they just like. So, anyways, here we go with this next story. I'm just gonna take a sip of my water really quick. All right, that was probably a bit more than a sip. I'm honestly surprised that this one was 4 years ago. Only has 4 upvotes and no comments. Whatever. I was stalked in middle school. When I was in the 7th grade, I was placed into an honors science class with a teacher we'll call Mrs. Horn. Well, Mrs. Horn seated me next to this kid, and since he has a common name, his name was Dennis. Dennis seemed to like to piss me off during class. I just brushed it off as he wanted to get my attention because that was what my mom told me at the time. He started describing to me my neighborhood and showed me a picture of me getting off the bus on one time. I'd never seen this kid near my house before. I don't even know how he found me or anything, but he did actually tell me my address. He then starts describing my family. Every day he would describe a new member. Eventually he described my dog. He told me he would shoot my father and my dog while they went on their daily walk in the morning, and then break into my house and kill the rest of my family. I was scared for my life and family at this point. I didn't want to go to science class after that, or school at all. I, needless to say, asked Mrs. Horn for a seat change and got one. We did actually explain the situation in an email. Hi, Mrs. Horn. I am Paint's mom. Oh, it's because their username is Dry Paint. I was going to say Paint. That's a weird name. She came home one day and said she was being picked on by Dennis. Insert imaginary last name. We'll call him Dennis the dog from the Minecraft movie. Alright. She has been complaining about this since the start of school, and we have asked her to ignore him. He has continually stated that he watches her and our family. Today in class, the situation has escalated. He told her that she was fat and that he would beat up her father and dog on their morning walks. As stated on the norms, we would blow it off, but Paint was almost in tears telling us of today's interactions. Can we request that Paint be placed in a location where he cannot speak to her? I am assuming he is probably looking for attention, however, Paint can no longer take this negative attention. Thank you, Paint's mom. Oh yeah, he also body shamed me almost every day. Thankfully, I was moved, and the guy never talked to me again. And on a good note, the table I moved to now contains all of my best friends, so happy ending, I guess. Oh gosh, what the... Oh. First of all, that kid, you don't just say, oh yeah, could we get the seat changed? No, you gotta, like, call up the police or something, because if he says that he's going to shoot you, like shoot your father and your dog, then break into your house and kill the rest of your family, even if he's just doing it for attention and it's obvious, that's something where you take it up with, like, the police. I do hope that kid got fairly punished, and I'm glad that you were able to get out of that situation and now have best friends. Nothing better than best friends. And again, they're Skywars coins. My gosh. That kid's just awful, honestly. Well, that's the end of the video. I recorded like 10 more minutes of Minecraft footage for the background of this, and as far as I can remember, it's really just junk footage. I recorded this like days ago, but I'm pretty sure that I'm just like trying to get out of a cave at this point, so I mean, it's really boring, and I don't know if that would actually be like entertaining to watch for it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm cutting it off here. I've been searching for like another half an hour for another good story, and I just could not find one that would fit in like about 9 minutes of time. So whatever, it's fine. Um, yeah. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, consider checking out the previous video. Uh, some of the some of the stories there were better, some not as good. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.